This is turning floor calls into customers. So has everybody worked floor? Is everybody on the floor schedule? Not yet. You've worked floor before. Darren, have you got on the floor schedule yet? Okay. So get with Chrissy so she can get you on the floor schedule. She generally has you shadow about 3 times before putting you on the schedule for the following month. But definitely get on there. We get a lot of business through floor. And if you were at last week's meeting, you heard Chrissy talk about, or actually Elizabeth, how some agents seem to get lots of business on floor. Some agents seem to never get any business on floor. It's not the schedule. As much as it really isn't nice to hear it, it really is up to the agent to make the most of that floor opportunity. You really have to think of every opportunity, every phone call, every walk-in as a real potential and to turn that into a sale. So what you do with each of those opportunities is going to be the difference between turning those into customers or just having a wasted time on floor. All right, so why do we work floor time? It's to meet the prospects for the sole purpose of converting them into the customers. It's the only reason that we work floor. We're not there just to answer questions. So when we answer the phone, what's our goal? To act as a call center to answer customer questions. That is not what our goal is. But a lot of times I do hear it. That's what a lot of the agents act that their job is when they're on floor, is just to answer questions. That's not your job on floor. So when a call comes in, you want to turn that caller into a customer. And we're going to talk about some tools to do that today. But asking for the appointment, getting face to face is ultimately going to be our goal there. All right, so our goal is to make a positive impression on the customer, have them view you as knowledgeable, professional, and trustworthy. All right, what does the caller want when they call? To have their question answered, to buy or sell a home. The customer is really they seem to be just asking a question, but what's behind the question? So we have to dig past, just what they're asking us and not just answer the question, because what's going to happen when they say, how much is the house over at 123 Floresta? And I say, oh, it's $155,000. What happens next?
Okay, thanks. Click.
Exactly. So do we get the customer there? No. Are they a potential buyer?
Yeah.
Certainly. So what went wrong?
You just gave them up.
You didn't ask enough questions.
What's your name? Can I have your number in case we get disconnected?
Mm-hmm.
And then once you bring, what I had done is I tried doing that, like getting the name and stuff, and I've gotten the last couple of calls that I did get were like, I just want to know the prices, and I'm like, yeah, I understand that. I said, I'm looking it up. I'm trying to bring it up. The computer's a little slow.
Mm-hmm.
I said, while it's coming up, can you just tell me what your name is?
Yep.
Maria, do you have a last name? And she's like, Gonzalez, or whatever her last name is. And I'm like, okay, well, do you have, and then they're like, well, can you tell me what the price is? I said, the computer's still bringing it up. It's up already.
Yep.
And then I'm looking, sometimes like I'll look at it and I'll be like, oh, so is that a 3-2 that you're looking at? Because I don't have it up yet. Try to act like I don't know.
You want to delay a little bit, exactly. Yeah. You want to, with the only tool that you have at your disposal when you've got a floor call, the only tool you have is the answer to the question that they're asking. That's the only thing that you have. While you have that, you have some power. Once you give that over to them, you lost all your power. And chances are they're just going to hang up at that point. So we do have to ask more questions about, try to get more information out of them. So just answering the question of what the price is, obviously they're going to hang up. But why do we really want to know? What's one of the next questions that we want to get from them? So let's say we do give them the price, the $150, and they hang up. What could have helped us? What could have gone wrong there? Why did they hang up?
Because they got what they wanted. They were done with us.
So they got what they wanted. Are they buying that house?
I don't know.
We don't know.
Probably not.
Probably not? Okay, so why aren't they going to buy that house?
Well, wouldn't they have asked more questions?
Not necessarily.
Like, the price is too high. Usually they would say, like, the price is too high. Oh, that's
So if they were really interested, they would have asked more questions, right?
I would think.
Okay. So why do they hang up then?
I don't know, that's why I'm sitting here, because I
Mhm.
can't understand why the customers, when they call up about a particular house, why are they like so not, secretive and just so like rude?
Are they are? It could be that they're already working with another
Well, then why did they
agent.
call them?
They might already be
Because
working with
sometimes
another
they call,
agent.
They do
they
the
do their
big
own
fish.
research, and then they
Yeah.
call their own agent and say, "Hey, look, I found this house. Can you take it?"
Could be a customer that is they want to jump in, the DIY customer. They have an agent,
Right.
but they don't want to bother their agent with little stuff like
Right.
this.
So they'll bother us.
They'll bother you. Yeah, so that's one possibility. How about another? Why do they hang up? They got the price. They were
can't
interested
afford it.
enough to call. They can't afford it. Okay, it's too expensive. So now the price. Could we help them with a less expensive house?
Of course.
Absolutely. That's why we don't want to give the price first, and why we want to, when we do eventually give the price, immediately follow that up with, is that in the price range that you're looking for? Immediately follow up with another question to keep them on the hook, to keep getting information. So if they say, well, no, that's not really on our budget. Oh, well, we have a ton of other really nice houses. What is your budget? Now you're starting to open up and get some information from them. So what's the alternative? So one, they're already working with another agent and they're the DIY customer. Number two, it's too expensive and they can't afford it, so they want something else. So what's another option?
Tell them you'll meet them at that.
No, another option why they would hang up.
Or why they would hang up?
More unpleasant? I don't know.
No.
I'm gonna
Like, you know,
I'm gonna assume you're all gonna be
You
pleasant.
can give them another option.
No, they hung up. So we're trying to
Oh.
think what went wrong here. We're trying to figure out
Well,
what
you're
happened.
not keeping them engaged,
Mhm.
and that's why they're hanging up.
How about the house is not expensive enough? And what do I mean by that? So it's 150, and we probably told them at the same time that, oh, it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, and it's $150,000. And they're thinking, oh, well, I don't want a 3-bedroom. I need at least a 4-bedroom with a den, and I need 3 baths. So when they hear, oh, well, it's just a 3-2, 150. Okay, thank you. They're not interested in that house. So we got to quickly find out, is this something that they're interested in? And then if not, pivot. In either case, we're going to pivot. One, we're going to pivot to another house that is going to fit what they're looking for. Or if this house is what they're looking for, we're immediately going to pivot to, let's get an appointment. So those are our two options. We got to pivot in either case. But one, we want an appointment right away. The other one, we want to find out more information and let them know that we have others. What's the most important thing that any real estate agent can tell any stranger when they're interested in buying houses?
What can a real estate agent say to?
Would you like me to show it?
What's the most important thing if you run into a stranger on the street and they're asking questions about one specific house that you have listed?
So we have more also.
We have more. How many more?
How many more? Why are you going to say how many more? We have.
Generally, give me a ballpark. About how many houses can we show?
3.
How many do you want?
3? We have more than that. How much access do we have?
Unlimited access
Unlimited access to what?
to the for sale.
To the for sales by who?
On the MLS.
On the MLS, which is
Everyone.
almost every listing out there.
Every listing.
So it's really important that that customer knows that we have access to show them everything that's listed with another realtor, because they may not know that. They might have been on the phone all day long calling one house after the other saying, how much is it? Okay, thank you. How much is it? Okay, thank you. How much is it? Okay, thank you. Until some agent says, well, how many agents have you called so far? Well, you're my 15th call. Are you working with a real estate agent? Well, no, I don't want to be limited because I want to see everything that's available. Well, do you know that's what I do? I have access to every listing listed by every other realtor in the area. You can work with just one agent. They can show you everything that's on the market. A lot of people do not know that. So we want to make sure that's very, very clear to all the buyers or walk-ins as well, because I see it. People go from office to office looking for something else. A lot of times people come to me and they say, well, what do you have available at your office? And I correct them. I said, well, I could tell you what we have just at our office. I'm like, but do you really want to limit your search to only my office listings? Well, don't you guys make more money that way if you just sell your own listings? And I say, personally, I do not. The company may, but I am not benefited by just limiting your search to my own company's listings. So that's not how I work. I'm going to show you everything that's available in the MLS. A lot of people don't understand that. So we want to make sure that that's totally clear so we're not questioning that. All right, so every call is an opportunity to be turned into a sale. So what's the minimum that we want to get from every single caller? And I think Yvonne was alluding to this earlier. Name,
email address.
Name, phone number, email address. Yeah, contact information. That's the main thing we want to get, the contact
But when
information.
these people are calling, they don't want to give you this information.
They don't want to give it, but how do you get it from them? And Yvonne was kind of on the right track
Yes,
there.
you're trying, you're trying to pull up the thing and you're stalling, yes, it's there, and you're just trying to stall. Then they think you're an idiot, because you're taking so long.
I had one
Like,
person
what do you
say,
mean?
well, what kind of computers do you guys have?
Right.
If it's not coming up right away. I was like, sir, I said, it's coming up. It's just that we have a lot of people working together. We're in an office and everybody's working with clients and customers and
I know,
it's just
that's
taking a
what you said, but
second.
if they get rude and they're like, what's taking you so
Well, if
long?
you can't
they don't
give me the
want to
answer.
give you that information. I know.
I had one guy that was really, really nasty on the phone with me. He gave me the information and I said, okay, sir. I said, well, my name is Yvonne Escobar-Carmen. If we should get disconnected, I was the one that was trying to assist you. And what is your name? I'm not giving you my name. Just tell me how much that house is. Okay, sir, give me a second. I was like, oh, isn't it a nice day out? And I tried to, and he was just like.
The point is that you tried. And that's the thing, is you got to try with every single caller. And you got to assume every caller has the potential to turn around and to be a very nice person and ultimately be a buyer or a seller. Don't get jaded.
Yeah, I was like.
That the next call is going to be the same way.
I was like, you idiot.
You just try again.
In my head, I'm sorry. I didn't say it out loud, obviously.
Yeah. So, the delay tactic, while I'm bringing that up, let me just get your contact information. That works, but you got to be really quick with it. If they're not, if it's too long, they're going to start questioning. Okay, really, what's happening here? So, let's look for another technique there. What do people love when they're looking for houses?
They like to get in there and see it.
Like to get in there before they even get in their car. What do they want to see? How do people start their house hunt?
Looking at them, seeing the picture of the house.
See the picture, yeah. And when you're looking for a house, don't you like lots of pictures?
Mm-hmm.
Use the pictures as the way to get the email address. So you bring up the listing and immediately start talking about the listing. Oh, this is a beautiful house. And you're clicking through the pictures. The first thing I do is, as soon as I bring up the listing, I'm getting the basics. I'm getting how big is it, how much is it, how many square feet, how many bedrooms. And then immediately, and that's all I really care about, but I'm going right to the pictures, because the pictures is what really matters. The pictures allows me to quickly start discussing an unfamiliar house. They've probably seen some of the pictures online, depending on what website they're looking at. Not all the websites take all the pictures. So we might have 30, 40 pictures in the MLS, but whatever website they're looking at may only be showing 7, 10, 12, 20 pictures. So they might not see all the pictures that are available. So you can use that as a way to get more contact information. So while I bring up the listing and I'm clicking on the pictures, I say, oh my God, the kitchen is gorgeous here. Have you seen the pictures of the kitchen here? Well, I think so. Well, let me send you these pictures. What's your email address? I'm not asking for the email address. I'm saying, let me send you the pictures. I'm just telling you what I'm going to do. What is your email address? Now they're excited, and I'm going to say, I'm going to email to you right now. So, and I'm literally going to do that right on the phone while they're with me. I'm going to bring up the email in Flex, type in their email address as they give it to me, and I'm going to fire it off to them. Because if they're interested in the property now, they might very well be at their computer, and chances are they probably are. Then they can open up my email, see the listing, and we can literally be on the same page, and we can start a dialogue about that house. And that it can easily be turned into, when would you like to see it? So use the offer of the pictures that are available as a tool to get their email address. Now, once you've got their email address, it's easy to follow up with that to turn that into, okay, and if you have any other questions, let me know, or we got the appointment. What's your telephone number? So I would go for email address first, telephone number second. First name is fine. So if I ask them what their name is and they just give me a first name, I'm okay with just first name for now, because now I have a way to talk to them. Instead of just nothing and say, oh, hi, Kim. So now I can use her name. Studies have shown the more you use somebody's first name, the more they are responsive to you, up until a certain point. When you've all met that used car salesman who uses your name in every single sentence, that fails. But you do have to use their name more often than you actually think, because what that's telling them is that you listen to them and you remembered their name, and they really appreciate being addressed personally, by using their name. So it's important to use that. But you can use the offer of pictures to get the email address from the caller. That works surprisingly well. It might even be the same pictures they already have, but they won't know that until they get the email. But now you have the email address. And now what you do is you quickly turn that into a drip campaign or an MLS search, and talk to them right about. So, what are you looking for? I can set you up right now with an automated email that'll send you new listings that are going to fit whatever you're looking for as soon as they hit the MLS. So does a buyer want to be informed immediately without talking to a human being the very second a listing hits the market that is what they're interested in? Absolutely they do. Yeah. So it's easy to turn that into at least getting them on a campaign for the searches. And then if they still want to meet you face-to-face, as long as they're on that drip campaign, many times they're going to call you up as soon as they see something that they're really interested in. Because many times they think that they have to call you because you're the one that emailed it to them. Your contact information is at the bottom of every one of those listings. So right or wrong, they're going to assume more often than not that it's actually your listing, when it's not really your listing. It's an MLS listing. But it's still, they're going to call you and contact you because of that. You just turn that into an appointment. All right, so we prefer from every caller to get all of this. So we want basic contact information at a minimum, but if it's going well, we want to get as much information as possible. So if we've got a real good buyer on the line or seller here, so name, phone number, email address, ad source, I'm going to say that should be a minimum as well. Shouldn't be, just if you can get it. One of the first questions really should be, how did you hear about us? Because we do want to track that even for your own calls. If you're not working floor and somebody's calling you directly on your phone and asking about a house, great, how'd you get my number today? Because you want to know what marketing dollars you're spending is actually working as well. So are they coming from your newspaper ad? Are they coming from a lead you got off of, Truly or Zillow that you're paying for? Are they coming from some other source of advertising that you're doing? Is it a Facebook business page, or what's working for you? So that's
They want us to track that too.
not your personal calls. That's for you, but for the floor calls,
Oh.
absolutely. Yeah, we need to know the ad source for every single contact, because that's the only way we know where to put the money to get. If something's working, we want to do a lot more of that, and if something's not working, we want to do less of that. All right, are they working with another agent? Important question to know. Let me ask you a question. So if they're working with another agent, can you show them a house?
Yes.
Darren says yes. Does anybody disagree with that?
If they're working with an, I wouldn't show them on a house.
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. But can
I
you?
mean, I can, but I wouldn't, because the chance of me going and taking my time to show them, that house or 2 or 3 houses, and then they're gonna turn around and go back to their agent,
Mm-hmm.
and they're gonna write the contract. It's like, why did I waste my time?
Yep. I do agree. So if they're working with another agent, there's no violation of the code of ethics unless they have a specific exclusive agreement with another agent. So if they want me to show them a house and they're very serious, and I say, "Are you working with another agent?" Well, we've worked with another agent. They've shown us a bunch of houses, but um,
We're not doing
we're not really all that happy with our agent. My next question should be what?
If you find a house, will you let me write up a contract?
Not necessarily, not going right to the contract. My next question is, I'm really checking myself for code of ethics violations.
Mhm.
My question would be, have you signed an exclusive agreement to work with that agent? Chances are they have not. So we're talking about a buyer-broker agreement here. But if they have, well, that's a red flag. It's just like a listing agreement. It's back off.
Yeah, you need to
Um,
contact and work that out with them.
Yep.
When you've terminated your
Yep.
relationship with them, I'll be more than happy to help you.
Yep, I'd be happy to help you. We can't get involved in encouraging them to break that exclusive agreement.
I've had a couple, well, maybe 2 calls, almost 2 years that I've been here, where people, they call, they're asking, you're talking to them, you get all your information, and you ask, oh, so you're working with someone? Well, yeah, okay, so, and I asked them, why didn't you ask your agent this to look this up for you? I said, I don't have any problem looking any property up for you. I don't have any problem sending you any information. But I'm just kind of wondering, why didn't you ask? Well, every time I ask her about a house or something, she always tells me she'll get back to me, and she never does. And at that point, I'm like, well, it seems to me that you need to have a conversation with your agent. And if you like, I'll be more than happy to take you out. I said, but I think you should have a conversation if she's already. Well, I've been working with her for 6 months. So now you've been working with someone for 6 months?
And she's not happy with her.
Right. And I'm like,
Double check, though, that important question. Do you have an agreement? Have you signed anything with that agent? Because if the answer is yes, now even just saying you need to have a conversation with your agent, that you're not happy, that could be a potential violation. So be careful there.
So, and I told him, I said, I'll be all yours. If you're not working with them anymore, let me know. Give me a phone call back, and we can set and go out and see this house that you want to go see. As a matter of fact, we can go see it this afternoon if you like.
Yeah. I tell them that it's very important for them to know. Call me if you have any questions. Give me a call. Chances are I can get you an answer right away. If I can't get you an answer right away, I'll give you a call as quick as I can possibly get the answer. And then actually do that. Make sure that you're extremely responsive when you do get questions from customers, because you build that reputation, and they're going to call you again. They're going to continue working with you. So, are they working with another agent? How long have you been looking? This is a really good question. I love this question because this gives me some insight into that customer. So if they say, "Oh, we've been looking for about 2 years now," really?
They're not that serious.
So exactly. So that's a red flag. They've been looking for 2 years. So then I'm going to ask, well, how many houses do you think you've seen? Oh, it's probably, I think it's 175 now. No, 176. We went to an open house last weekend. So they've got the clipboard that they're looking for, the magic house that ticks all the boxes and is under their budget.
That never exists.
The unicorn house that doesn't exist. So is this a customer that's highly motivated? Not at all. Is this a customer that's probably worked with 17 different agents in those last 2 years? Probably so. At the same time, is that person going to buy a house eventually? Probably. At some point, they're going to buy a house. It's still worth talking to that customer, and it's still worth scheduling an appointment. It's still worth meeting them at a house and establishing that face-to-face rapport and find out. So tell me, what has happened? You guys have been looking for 2 years. You've seen 176, no, today now 177 houses. What is the issue? You got to find out what the answer to that question is before you know if it's a good customer or a bad customer. But I would rather be face to face when I'm really gonna get down to brass tacks with a customer. I love to be face to face because it's easy if you're face to face So again, the magic word there is pivot. If they start to get offended, I'm going to pivot and take all the pressure off of that and say, no, 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 listen, I'm not judging you. I'm just trying to help.
Right. I'm just
And
trying to figure out how I can help you the best that I can.
how can I help? Exactly. So let's get them to relax again, and then we can sort of move around. If we're on the telephone and we really give them that question, they could just get offended and be like, well, thank you very much, and they hang up. It's easier because we can see the body language, the eyes, the eye rolling, the closed off, arms crossed, that they're getting agitated or anxious with the line of questioning. We can move from there. It's easier to do that in person. Reason for the purchase or the sale. Why do we want to know that?
Well, because if it's because they're downsizing or they're moving to another state or whatever it is, you can also say, well, oh, you're moving. Oh, you got a new job in Ohio. Oh, well, I can make a contact for you and get someone, an agent, to work with you like I'm working with you.
Yeah, so we get a
They like
potential
that, so
referral.
you have someone, and they were like, oh, I mean, they like the fact that you're trying to help them somewhere else too, and it makes them feel like, wait a minute, this person knows my personality, knows who I am, how I am, and hopefully you'll relay that to whoever it is that's working on the other end.
So this is a buyer call, and they're calling in, and they're asking about this house for sale, and you give them the price, and they say it's right in the right price range. So now you're going to ask them again, what's the reason for the purchase now? What's the main reason you're moving? We're downsizing. Well, now what's your next question?
Do you have an agent where is it that you're coming from?
I'm in Port St. Lucie.
Yeah, you get the listing.
Now we got a listing.
Right.
So we got a buyer and a listing in the same phone call. That's why the buyer calls, don't think that they're just buyer calls.
Right.
Many times those buyer calls are listing calls in disguise. So make sure we ask why they're moving and where they're moving from, and are they here and do they need to sell? Because now it's easy to get that listing and the buyer at the same time. So we definitely want to meet that customer face to face. And I would start that, honestly, I would start it with a buyer. I would start it with a showing. I wouldn't go right for the listing. I would go for the showing first because that is less pressure on them. I get to meet them face to face in a house and start building that really positive professional rapport. Show them how much I know about the business by showing them the houses. And then before that tour is over, whether I've got one house lined up or three houses lined up, before that I'm going to start pivoting to, tell me about your house. Do you need to sell your house in order to purchase this one? Have you ever sold a house before? What upgrades have you done since you've purchased it? All those, pre-listing questions, I'm just sort of casually throwing them into conversation while we're looking at this other house. This way, there's no interrogation later on. Now I can, just go right for the listing appointment and ask. So, when would be a good time to take a look at your house to get your house listed? And then while I'm showing the buyer house, I'm going to start talking about the real estate market. So, and I'm going to talk about it from a buyer's perspective, but I'm going to lean it to sellers so that they're going to be able to put two and two together themselves. So as I'm showing the house, as they're a buyer now, I'm going to talk about our statistics. Do you know our sale prices are up about 18% from what they were last year? Average time on market right now is, I think it's 33 days now. And we're at about 3.4 months of inventory. That means we have not enough houses on the market to sell. And that's what's driven up our prices right now. So if we get a flood of houses on the market, that could potentially drive down prices in the future. But right now, the sale prices are really great. So as a buyer, we do have to make really serious offers because there's not enough houses on the market. So chances are any offer we're going to make is going to be in a multiple offer situation. So I'm informing them about what's going to happen on their buyer side. But are they not in their own head thinking about how is this affecting the value of my house? I really wonder how much my house has increased. When did you guys buy your house, by the way? Oh, you bought it in 2011. Okay. Yeah, it's probably gone up significantly from when you purchased it. Just on average, our average sale price in 2011 was just under $100,000, and St. Lucie County wide right now is about $170,000. That's a huge increase. So when you guys are ready, let me know and we'll take a look at your house and see how much it's increased in value. Are they excited about finding that out now? Yeah.
Yes.
So use those numbers. We have to use information to get what we want. It's a trade-off. So always remember that you're playing a game to get to face-to-face. Ultimately, we want to help people, but we can't help them if we can't turn them into a customer first. So we have to play that game to book the appointments. All right, what type of home are they looking for? What's their budget or list price that they're looking to list it at? Um, you know, pre-approval or cash? This is a good question to ask. If the appointment's going well, always the most important thing is the last one there, book a face-to-face appointment. You might get the talkative person on the phone here. So every once in a while, they'll talk to you for 4 hours and answer every question you ever have. And that's great. If you got that customer, you can ask all these questions and book the face-to-face appointment. So you've got a lot more information walking in the door when you're meeting them. Yeah.
I have a question. If you get all that from them and then you get to that, so are you working with a bank? Do you have a mortgage broker, a bank, or someone that's going to help you with getting your loan?
Mhm.
And they tell you no. And, well, we don't want to do that right now. Do you still bother with the showing?
Absolutely.
Okay.
I wouldn't bother with 20 showings,
Okay.
but I would absolutely want to make them meet them face-to-face. And what I would say is, I can help you with that. Let's go take a look at the house. And then now I know walking into that first house that they're not pre-approved. And I'm going to talk about, again, the same statistics that I was just talking about and making them realize that they have to be ready when they find the right house because they're going to be in multiple offers. So I'm going to talk about that while I'm showing the first house. And then I'm going to turn that right into, so, now that we're done here, let me get you set up with a mortgage broker. What does your afternoon look like? I might even call a mortgage broker and say, hey, I'm working with a buyer here. Do you have time at 1 o'clock to meet with them? You do? Great, I'll send them over. Okay, so you're going to go meet with Vicki over at Fidelity Funding. She's free at 1 o'clock. They're going to go over there. So take it not as well, I'm not going to work with you until you're ready. Take this, I can help you with that.
I've had, because I'm an agent on Trulia, so I get calls, and, I book appointments, we go. And I know at this point, like you said, that they're not pre-approved.
Mm-hmm.
And you get into the house, and they're like, oh, well, while I was waiting, to meet with you today, I saw 3 more houses on Trulia. I said, well, that's nice. I have no problem scheduling that for you. I said, but we really need to know where we're at financially, what you can afford. I said, because I don't want to take you to a home that, is $300,000 and you fall in love with it. It's everything you want. And then the bank says you're only qualified for $150,000.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm not saying that that's the case because, you get that kind of look.
Right.
But we need real numbers so we know what we're really working with. Can we do that later? No. I said, honestly, it doesn't really make any sense to do that later. I gave her the number. I contacted someone. They're not local, so the person that I was giving her to.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, she's expecting your call at whatever time it was. I said, and she's very good. I said, I know personally because she helped me with mine.
Yep.
I said, and she'll turn over every rock she has to help you. And she made the appointment. My broker person called me and she's like, Yvonne, she can't even afford a tent. I was like, oh, Jesus.
This is the importance of getting that pre-approval.
And the lady called me back and she wanted to go see, and I said, whatever her name was, and I said, I spoke with so-and-so at the bank. From whatever, the mortgage broker. And my understanding is you won't qualify for an FHA loan at this time. There's a couple of things you got to get taken care of. Well, we can still go look. I said, what's the point of that? And then she got a little nasty with me and hung up the phone. And I was like, okay, well, that's fine with me. But you don't waste your time doing. Did I do something wrong?
No, you want to get it pre-approved. And then if that fails, then before I would release them back into the wild.
Wild?
I would ask,
the wildebeest. Sorry.
You be a little bit more creative before you release them back into the wild. So it sounds like a loan is not going to work right now. So do you have a potential cosigner? Because they might. is there's anybody else that would help you with the purchase, because it
Well,
doesn't look like you're qualified.
My mortgage person went through all of that with her, so she relayed all that to
Mhm.
me, so I already knew all the answers for
Okay.
that. But I mean, normally I would be like, well, and I said it's not like it's a definite no, like never not in the next year or so. I said, but she told you certain things, and I went over them, and I said, if you get those taken care of, once you get them taken care of, we can let her know, make sure that everything is recorded, everything is paid off, and we could go from there. I said she'll be more than happy to reevaluate you. And she's like, well, but I still want to go see the house. I can't today. I'm really sorry. I kind of left it at that because you deal with someone that doesn't want to deal with reality.
Yeah, it's a gray area, and you really have to use a judgment call. I would probably lean on not wasting much more time. I would not necessarily say I wouldn't show them a couple more houses, just to build more rapport, because I'm always looking for the referral business. So the more people I meet and show them what I can do and impress them, they're going to refer me to their friends, their sphere of influence. But at the same time, I'm not taking you out every weekend. You're not qualified to buy a house, so there's really no point.
She had a foreclosure. She had some other stuff. It was like,
yeah.
And I asked her all of this ahead of time, like just having a conversation.
Yep.
And she lied about it because and that my lady that I work with, she's like, Yvonne, where are you finding these people?
Yep.
I'm like, I don't know. They're finding me.
And that's I'm going to say that's what you get with internet leads. And
I'm learning that.
Some of them you get a great one every once in a while, but you work with
a
lot of
pretty decent ones, but
yeah.
What yet? But
and that's why the referral based business is so much more powerful, because when people call you and they're a referral, more often than not they're a real buyer, they're qualified, and they're motivated, and they're loyal because they've been referred. So referrals are far better leads than internet leads. But internet leads they're an opportunity to talk to people, absolutely. Yeah. And you get good leads from time to time. You just get a lot of junky ones in the middle. Yeah. So our main goal, face-to-face appointment. So why is it important? Because people do business with those that they know, like, and trust. You hear me say this, 1,000 times a day, because this is the absolute truth. This is the three things we need somebody to feel with us: that they know us, they like us, and they trust us. Otherwise, they're not going to do business with us. So if we've got somebody not giving us their first name on a telephone call, well, do we have their trust? Not at all. They won't even give us a first name on a phone call. That's our fault, because we haven't built the trust factor. Something hasn't clicked there. So you might say, well, all I did was answer the phone. How did you answer that phone? So many tiny little things affect what happens, with communication. It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. It's mannerisms, it's your posture. And this is even over the telephone. It's your mood. It's your, are you fully engaged, or are you, half there? Are you watching something out the window? Is somebody talking to you next to you while you're answering the phone? All these things affect you while you're answering that phone call. So even in just that very first, answer, like, hi, this is, Chris with Real Living. How can I help you? Just even your opening a line could be the difference between, yes, I've already established a trust, or no, I haven't. So you've called customer service lines before, and you've gotten the "thank you for calling blank blank company. How may I help you today?" Is that somebody who is knowledgeable and excited about helping you? Not at all.
Not at all.
So, and you know that right away just from not what they said, but how they said it. We have to be conscious of how we're selling to the customers. I'm going to tell you, all of you, anytime you're working floor, keep your phone on your desk and keep the voice memo app open. And when a call comes in through the desk phone, just hit record, just leave it on your desk. We don't care about the customer's side of the conversation. You'll remember what they said. And it doesn't matter what their vocal inflections were. All that matters is what you sounded like. So listen back to that call when that call ends and figure out, well, one, was this a good call or was it a bad call? If it was a good call, what did I do right? If it was a bad call, what did I do wrong? And if you can't figure it out, bring it to me, bring it to Jim, bring it to Elizabeth, and say, hey, can you listen to this and figure out what can I improve here. I thought I did everything right. Um, and it might very well be you did everything right and you just got a dud on the phone. Um, but there's probably something you could have improved. And you're only going to get that if you listen back to yourself. It's such a strange thing to hear yourself recorded. You hear all of the ums and the ahs and the delays. I'm going to play a couple of phone calls, for you guys today.
It's not none of us here, is it?
No.
Okay.
It's probably me.
I've heard some of your calls,
I'm sure you have.
but I'm not.
I get discombobulated. I don't know when somebody calls, like I just get,
You go blank.
especially if the computer is not up and I have to look and I am like waiting for it to come up and something. I just like lose it.
Whenever you're on floor, the most important thing is to be ready for every single call that's going to come in. Now, are they going to call on a listing that's listed by, XYZ brokerage, or are they going to call on a real living listing? They call in our office because they had our number because either they saw a sign, they saw our ad.
I'm
Yeah.
standing right here in front of. I was driving by and I saw your sign.
So it's our listings. So on the MLS, you guys know in the search tab, you can go to search and go right down to my office listings. And it's going to bring up every listing in the office. So there's really no reason to be searching for a property that you can't find. So even if they don't know the address, well, what street are you on? So you're on this street. So then just switch your MLS over to the map view and look at the map and find the listing. I've had calls from customers and they're saying, I'm in the driveway. Okay, what's the address? I don't know. Well, what street
One
number
guy
is?
called one day and he gave me the name. I said, "Can you spell that for me?" And he spelled it and everything. I could not find that damn house nowhere in the house. So then I went to Elizabeth and she found it. I mean, she went through every way to.
The easiest way is to switch it into office listings,
Right.
just my office listings, and
But
then
I didn't know where.
So it's under MLS search.
Thank you for calling. To ensure the highest level of customer care, this call may be recorded. Please hold while we connect your call. Real Living, All Floor Realty. How may I help you?
Hi, down in Port St. Lucie gave me your number,
Okay.
and I've seen a property that you guys have listed. I saw it on the internet
Okay. Is it for sale or for rent?
for sale.
For sale. Okay. If you can hold just a moment, let me transfer you. She's our realtor that's on floor duty today. Just one moment, please. Hi, this is may I help you?
I got your number from down in Port St. Lucie because he said you could probably help me better. I found
Okay.
I found a listing on the internet, and I just wanted to see if there's any way that I could look at it, or if you could tell me some information about it.
Which one are you interested in?
Okay, the address is south.
Oh, okay. Let me pull that up. You said okay.
Yes.
Let's see. Do you like? Have you looked in that area before?
I live right around the corner from it, and I'm trying to kind of downsize, from a house to a townhouse, so I don't have all the upkeep.
Yeah.
And I looked at a property there that I just signed a contract on last week, and I wasn't aware there were any other properties in that subdivision for sale. He never told me that there was any other properties.
Oh, really?
And so when I went online, I saw all these different properties that's for sale in there.
Yeah.
And for the same amount of money, but for bigger or for cheaper amount of money.
Right. Yeah, this is a good size unit.
Yes.
It's 16 to 1,800 square feet. Oh, and the kitchen's beautiful.
Yeah, I saw the pictures on the internet, and when I walked into this other unit that, this lady had for sale, and it was an open house. That's the only reason I, went to it.
Uh-huh.
And, you could tell she smoked. The house stunk so bad, like cigarette smoke. I don't smoke.
Oh.
My boyfriend smokes and my children smoke, well, they're adults anyway. But I have never been into a house that was that bad of smelling of smoke.
Wow. That's something.
Yeah.
Are you in a contract on that other property?
I signed a contract, but I only signed it like 1 week ago so I can get out of it.
Was it accepted by the seller?
We still have some things that we're trying to work out.
Oh, so you're still in negotiation.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Who are you working with for that? Who's the realtor?
It's
Okay. I don't know who that is. All right. Okay, so you don't have a working relationship with him then?
correct. I only seen that one house.
Okay. When did you want to get together to see this one?
Whenever you're available.
My morning's kind of full right now. I'm sorry. I wish I could do it sooner, but it could be this afternoon.
That would be fine because I am going to Melbourne to get my taxes done. And so about what time this afternoon?
This one's owner-occupied, so let me call, and then I'll call you back. Then what's a good phone number to reach you on? Okay. All right, let me call and see if we can get in. Do you think, what time do you think you'll be back from Melbourne?
Can we try around 4?
Okay, that's perfect. That's about what I was going to
4:30,
suggest.
somewhere around there. Yes,
4:30.
and there's another property there also, but I don't think you have it.
It doesn't matter. I can get you in there.
That one is.
Okay. All right. I'm going to pull out the others so you'll have a good idea of what's available in there.
Okay.
And I don't know how soon you're looking to do something, but I'm getting ready to list one which is in
And it's
Okay.
a really nice unit.
All right.
Every bit as nice as this one that you're looking at. It's
Mhm.
got a little bit deeper backyard.
Okay.
So that was kind of nice. So I'll see if I can get you in to see that one too. We might not be able to see that today. We might have to plan that for another day.
Okay, that was fine.
Okay, good. All right, let me call and see if 4 to 4:30 will work, and I'll call you back.
Or even 5 o'clock. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Okay.
You know, but whatever is good.
Yeah, 4:30 works great for me.
Okay.
And I'll call you back in just a few minutes.
All right. Thank you. And is it?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.
Hello?
Yes, sir. I was calling to ask a question.
Uh-huh.
We found this place that they had for sale. It was for $80,000, and they wanted 8% interest on $80,000. I don't understand what that is.
Okay. What are you looking at?
Sir?
I need to have a point of reference. What are you looking at? Is this the house?
It's a 2-bedroom. I guess it's a trailer, handyman special, 2 bath, a car garage.
Uh-huh.
5,000 down, $650 a month.
Okay. 8%?
Yeah, they want 8% on, I guess, 80,000.
Okay, then that must be owner financing.
Yes, it's owner financing.
Okay, yeah, then the owner would want 8%.
What would 8% be? What would it be
Well, we need to
on
get
the 80,000?
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm still waking up. We would need to get a table to figure out what the APR is going to be. Everybody does that by computers now, and now our computers, I'm just now turning them on. If you like, I'll write down your number, the one you're calling from, and as soon as I can get the computer up, I'll fire up a table and be able to tell you that. Okay, so.
Okay, thank you so much. And you got my number?
It's on my phone now, so.
All right, thank you, sir.
Okay, you're welcome.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.